Hi everyone. I have some bad news. I've been permanently banned from Twitter. And yes, I filed an appeal, but I got an email a couple of hours ago that told me my appeal has been denied. I was banned for a couple of tweets I made about an individual named Jessica Yaniv. And actually, a few months ago, I made a video called The Tampon String Enthusiast of British Columbia, where I give a little bit of backstory as to who Yaniv is. So I will link that in the description, but here I'll summarize as briefly as I can. There's a lot to this, though. Jessica Yaniv, formerly known as Jonathan Yaniv, is someone who lives in my province and who claims to be a transgender individual. There are leaked Facebook message screenshots where Yaniv is trying to solicit advice about how to approach preteen girls in the female washrooms, and he says things like, "Can you see tampon strings hanging out of a girl's pussy? What do girls do in the bathroom stall? Change panty liner and wipe pussy? Oh, I'm going on the BC ferries next week and lots of 10-year-old girls go on field trips on the ferry. How can I ask them for a tampon or pad? Should I teach a 10-year-old girl how to use a pad?" So not only does he have an obsession with the menstrual products of 10 to 12-year-old girls, but he also made BC Human Rights Tribunal complaints against 16 or so female estheticians, and these female estheticians declined to perform Brazilian waxing services on his male genitalia because they provide female-only services. So he made complaints against them to the BC Human Rights Tribunal. Many of the trials are actually happening this month in Vancouver, this month being July. And the thing is, he specifically targets immigrant women, and he hauls them in the tribunals to try to make a point that his transness is more important than their culture or religion. So, for example, there was a Sikh woman who he made a complaint against, who said she does not touch men except for her husband. So that's why she only provides females with her aesthetic services. But Yaniv says that's discrimination, and the state should compel that woman to touch his penis and testicles. So this actually seems like state-enforced sexual assault. That's the gist of who Jessica Yaniv is, a menstruation-obsessed, predatory, vexatious, litigious person. So Yaniv starts tweeting about how I'm dumb and how I have a loose vagina from pushing out a 10-pound baby, but he has a tight pussy. And remember, he has a penis and testicles. Also in his tweet is something about how he gets pleasure from certain sex toys because he's under the impression he has a clitoris. So I tweeted back and said basically, if you want to sound like a woman, this is definitely not how you talk. You had a baby, you have a loose vagina. Do women really talk like this? It's more of a male way of speaking. So I said, he sounds like a guy who doesn't have a functional romantic relationship with a woman, but I guess that describes him pretty well. Then he starts mocking how I have a reproductive abnormality called a septate uterus. And so I reply and I say, "At least I have a uterus, you ugly fat man." And I deleted the tweets in the morning when I woke up, but was permanently suspended by the afternoon. This proves that trans people like Yaniv are untouchable. He's allowed to make comments about my loose vagina, apparently, and mock the fact that I have a reproductive abnormality. But when I want to take a shot back at him and stand up for myself, I am silenced and kicked off Twitter permanently. Yaniv is clearly a misogynist, but he receives no punishment at all. So the moral of the story is, you can't stand up for yourself against trans people. Want more evidence of this? Watch a video I made called "Did I Harass a Trans Person?" It's about a fellow grad student at my university who was trans, who would try to instigate conflict with me and ended up making a complaint. When it comes to trans people, they are untouchable and you cannot stand up for yourself against them. And keep in mind, Yaniv is not some random Twitter troll, right? He's someone who is actively pursuing BC human rights complaints and who shows up at his city council all the time. So this is not some random troll, as some people are trying to twist it. Some of you may think good riddance, Twitter is terrible, but the thing is, it's pretty important to have a Twitter account to counteract the lies and misinformation that are put out about you online. So I saw one poor chap who said he got a pop-up saying I blocked him after he sent me a message, but I didn't block him. It's just some sort of Twitter glitch. And another account was saying I have a whole bunch of sock puppet accounts that I use to bother Yaniv, which is just a flat out lie. I had one account, and that was New World Hominin. I don't have any other accounts. There is one thing that gives me hope, though, and that is the platform that Jordan Peterson is developing, ThinkSpot. So until I can hitch onto another platform, I'll be using YouTube to talk about the issues I want to talk about. The unfortunate thing is, of course, that Twitter is nice for making quick and immediate comments about an article or something like that, whereas if I want to say something on YouTube, there's obviously a longer process with preparation, filming, editing, uploading. So thank you so much to everyone who is bringing attention to the Jessica Yaniv situation and to my ban. There are a few people also that I was communicating with only by Twitter messages, so I hope we can find a way to communicate over email now, because again, I will only be on YouTube for the next little while, so please subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching, and bye for now.